Well, Royce the 5'9" calls out Joe Budden because he didn't like the way that he criticized Eminem's album a few months back, and he's finally speaking about it on a podcast. Now, Joe Budden already pretty much responded to this, and he said he's going to fully respond on his podcast. It's not a harsh call out, but it's a call out. Let's get into it. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe button. At KINGCAMIL today, outside of Chicago, Kankakee, Illinois. He's got the new video tonight below. All his links to all his social media is below, and his new album is out now. The link is below. And if you want to run ads on the channel, it's jordantowermedia@gmail.com. We talk about Royce the 5'9" and Joe Budden. They were both part of Slaughterhouse, both friends forever. And basically, he's upset that Joe Budden, like the way he reviewed Eminem's album, because he says, you know, he's an artist and he should be a little bit more delicate with things like this. You know, like give some constructive criticism and also tell the good points about it, you know?
Based off of what they thought was some cool shit to say. And I always felt like it was at my expense. So I always took it personal.
So he's talking about like when publications would criticize his albums in the past, Royce the 5'9", he said he took it personal so Joe Budden should have like kind of understood that and maybe said something positive about the album, then gave some constructive criticism, you know.
Understand how important it is that you walk eggshells around each other's art.
You know, I agree with him on that, but you know, I think also Joe Budden was being honest. I mean, the Eminem album was pretty trash, okay? And I would rather hear from my friend the truth than the false. Now, also, Eminem was selling a project, so you got to look at it like this. Hey, if Joe Budden's shitting on it, that might start a conversation about, hey, this shit is trash. It might deter a lot of people from buying the album. So he also didn't like one main thing about this.
Next thing that I do, that's when you work, when you're working with family. Now, the thing that he said that I really didn't like was something along the lines of people them using the plight of black people to sell a record.
Now, he was saying that Eminem was really using the struggle that's going on with black people to sell his records. But I look at it as Eminem was adding another voice into the mix, you know, because he's a popular artist and he was trying to bring more attention to it. I don't think he was using the flight of black people to, you know, sell records. I do not believe that at all. Eminem has always championed his city. He's always championed the underdog. Eminem came from nothing, like literally came from a trailer park, you know, like he didn't grow up. And now I'm not saying he had the same struggles. I'm just saying he did have some sort of a struggle, you know, so I don't think he would use that to sell records. The only thing he's ever done to sell records was troll people. You know, he's like one of the original trolls, you know, trolling Britney Spears and, you know, people like that, Fred Durst, you know, people like that. So Joe Budden had responded and said, I'm going to address it in tomorrow's podcast. Someone responded to him and said, please don't be overly petty, overindulge in your psychopathic behavior towards Royce. You said what you said. He said what he said. And we don't need to hear his perspective. Let it go. We don't need to hear his we don't need to hear his perspective. Then he said, Joe Budden, then don't listen. Then he said, I wish Royce the 5'9" and Joe Budden would just communicate on the phone. Joe Budden said, we did. Don't be silly. So he'll make this more clear on his podcast. Anyways, guys, what do you guys think about this? Let me know below. I'll check you guys in the next one. This is George out with JT News. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to run ads on the channel, it's jordantowermedia@gmail.com. And I'll check you guys on the next video. At KINGCAMIL today, outside of Chicago, Kankakee, Illinois. He's got the new video tonight below. All his links to all his social media is below, and his new album is out now. The link is below.
Just make it through the night, everything will be alright. If I could just make